Let's check in with our senior insider, Shams Charania, who broke some news this morning out of the Western Conference. Shams, what is the latest out of Phoenix?
Malika, sources tell me the Phoenix Suns are hiring Cleveland Cavaliers assistant Jordan Ott as the franchise's next head coach. That will be their fourth coach in the last 4 seasons, and he beats out fellow Cavs assistant Johnny Bryant for this first head coaching job for him after being an assistant since 2012. And Suns leadership agreed on Ott after interviewing over 15 candidates for the job. And obviously Ott and Johnny Bryant worked under Coach of the Year Kenny Atkinson this past season. The most interesting part, though, is really over the last 7 to 10 days. Devin Booker, the Suns franchise cornerstone, was involved late in this process for the hire, and I'm told Jordan Ott was his top choice as well. And we know Devin Booker has had a ton of coaches over his 11 seasons in the NBA. 8 coaches to be exact, he's on now, and that partnership will be critical to the Suns' future between Devin Booker and Jordan Ott.
Interesting. So, Shams, as interesting to me as it is that Devin Booker was involved in choosing the next coach for the Phoenix Suns, it's equally as fascinating the name that you didn't mention, Kevin Durant. What does this signal for his future?
Malika, conversations will now begin to pick up on a potential trade of Kevin Durant out of Phoenix. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, conversations will begin to heat up. I'm told the Suns will work with Durant and his business partner, Rich Kleiman, on a trade home. There's expected to be a robust market for him. 4 to 6 teams seriously interested in Durant, potentially ahead of the NBA draft. But between now and that NBA draft later this month in June, there's going to be serious conversations about moving Kevin Durant, and still one of the great players in the NBA right now, an all-NBA caliber player, still at the prime stages really of his play in terms of as a scorer. So we'll see where Kevin Durant ends up this offseason.
Okay, so between now and the NBA draft, certainly something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. And I agree with you. As we have all these conversations, Shams, about who is a superstar in the league, Kevin Durant firmly solidified and still is one of those superstars. I want to bring it back here to set, though, for just a second. We're going to go back to you, Shams, in just a minute. Perk, hearing all of this, your reaction. Phoenix has hired a new coach, and it's Devin Booker.
Here we are again, y'all.
Okay.
Everybody going right, the Phoenix Suns going left. Here we are again. And I don't care if Devin Booker had anything to do with the hiring of the coach. Damn it, they need to blow it up. Not only trading KD, but trading Devin Booker. And this is going to tell me a lot about Devin Booker. Here's why. He has been activated. You know why? Because he's 28 going on 29. So that means Shanae Malik, he's what? He's just starting his prime. His prime has been activated. This team is not going nowhere. This team ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. They're not even going to be a top 6 seed in the West. I don't care who they trade for. Right now, and I'm just going off of right now. The Mavs, Lakers, Nuggets, OKC, Minnesota, that's 5. Houston, that's 6. And we can really keep going. So Devin Booker, I don't want to ever get to the point where I look at him and call him a loser. But if he comes to a place where he's okay with being there and not leveling up to go to an organization where you actually could compete for a championship and you ready to just stay there, basically for another rebuild, I got a problem with that.
Whoa. I need you to clarify. Devin Booker and loser is not in this. What are you saying?
I did not call. I said I don't want to go there. But I said, if you look at the direction that this organization is going in.
Well, maybe losing benefits them by picking a direction, right? But, like, to me, I differ from you in that Devin Booker, you said he's 28 going on 29, who's still dropping 28 going on 29. Like, he's someone that no matter what happens is like a cornerstone that you can sort of build off of. My issue is that, like, it's the pick a direction. You are no longer in the middle now. Like, you either are pursuing championships, which we found that they are not going to be in that class of, especially with KD leaving and the restructuring, or you're going to actual restructure and rebuild.
But they don't control their picks. We have to remember they do not control their picks.
Yeah,
2032.
And one thing, and I get what you're saying, Perk, because it's so easy in this league to come in and just to fall into that trap of playing 82 games and not winning the championship and going into your summer. Before you know it, 5 seasons have gone by and you've done nothing. But Devin Booker has taken the first step, getting involved in the coaching search. Secondly, it doesn't matter who coached that team until you figure out what you're going to do with your players. Chemistry. Yeah. You look at all those coaches that came before those guys. Those coaches are guys that have won in other situations. Why aren't they winning in Phoenix? Are we going to keep saying it's the coaches? or are we going to keep saying that you're not putting the right guys in the locker room? And that's where I go to. Are you going to put the right guys in the locker room? Because one thing about the NBA now today, it's so easy to go out and say, the coach ain't doing this, the coach ain't doing that. Are you putting the right pieces around to really compete for a championship? First and foremost, I don't think Phoenix had the right pieces to really say they were going to compete for a championship this year.
And that's because the game has changed when you think about, like, the big threes trying to win, right? Like, that was a microwave version of trying to find success. The slow cooker we're watching in NBA Finals where we see a slow cooker.
Yes.
Right. The Knicks fired head coach Tom Thibodeau less than 2 weeks after leading New York to its first Eastern Conference Finals appearance in 25 years. I want to bring Shams back in here. How are the Knicks, Shams, approaching the search for their next head coach, and what direction do they want to take to move this team forward?
Malika, I'm told Knicks president Leon Rose is still going to take several days here to start that head coaching process. I expect it to be a methodical one, and several candidates potentially in the next few days that Leon Rose and that Knicks front office will turn to. But you think about the qualities that the Knicks have laid out. In their release, they talked about the singular focus on winning a championship and ascending to the next level. I'm told that the belief within the Knicks was they simply had reached a ceiling under Tom Thibodeau, that they felt he exhausted the most he could out of this team, and they want a championship caliber upgrade now. And so you think about coaches with title pedigree. You think about coaches that are adaptable, that are flexible as a head coach. And so what coach out there has all those qualities as far as having championship experience, the adaptability as head coach that they just felt they did not have with Tom Thibodeau. So we'll know more in the coming days and weeks.
Okay, so we'll check in with you as we continue to know more on this, but I can tell you, Shams, as you were talking, as you were reporting on everything that's going around New York, you had UD and Perk over here throwing up their hands a whole lot and a little bit of confusion as to what is going on. In